So there's one thing that I see from flat earthers all the time, and it's such a loaded question, and I don't understand how they don't see the logical fallacies in it. But a lot of flat earthers seem to only trust anything that proves with their five senses alone that the earth is either flat or a globe. They will not trust anything else other than what their senses tell them. First and foremost, our senses are garbage. Like, compared to a lot of other members of the animal kingdom, our senses suck. But beyond that, our senses have very little to do with the shape of the earth. And here's what I mean by that. First off, touch isn't going to do anything for you because the human body cannot feel constant movement. It will only feel noticeable changes in acceleration or direction. The Earth is not changing in acceleration or changing in direction, other than the circle that it is forming, which I guess is technically changing direction, but that is over the course of a year. So you're not going to feel that. The Earth is also too big for us to feel its shape just by touching it, so touch isn't going to help you determine the shape of the Earth. Also, the shape and movement of the Earth neither put off a sound nor a smell, so hearing and smell are not going to help you determine the shape of the Earth either. And finally, tasting the Earth is not going to help you determine the shape of the Earth either. It's just going to leave a nasty taste in your mouth. Literally. The only sense that is going to be able to help you even remotely determine the shape of the Earth is sight, or at least the only one of the main five senses. Now, flat earthers will often say, well, I can't see the curvature of the Earth, therefore it is flat. And yeah, you do have to be pretty high up to be able to see the curvature of the Earth with your own eyes. I am not going to deny that in the slightest. But there are other things that you can see from the ground that require zero input from any kind of a space agency, zero input from anybody else, to be able to determine that the Earth is a globe. First and foremost, if we had a local sun and the Earth was flat, and the sun and moon, if they were both local, and they were traveling in a circle above the plane of the Earth, you would see the sun and moon increase in size as they approached your position, and then decrease in size as they recessed away. You do not see that happen in real life. Secondly, if they're supposedly orbiting around the plane of the Earth at the same height, then the moon would not be able to get under the sun in order for there to be a solar eclipse, nor would the sun be able to get on the other side of the Earth to create a lunar eclipse. A lunar eclipse, by itself, determines that the Earth is a globe. But there are other things. The rotational direction of the stars is different between the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. The moon appears to be almost flipped 180 degrees from top to bottom in the southern hemisphere than it does from the northern hemisphere. If the Earth were a flat plane with the right equipment, you could see Mount Everest from a commercial airliner from the west coast of the United States. Cruising altitude for most commercial airliners is about 35 to 40,000 feet, and I believe Mount Everest is just over 26,000 feet. That puts you a full 9 to 14,000 feet above Mount Everest. So with a powerful enough optical device, you should be able to see Mount Everest from a commercial airliner from the west coast of the United States. But you don't. Hell, you should be able to see the eastern coast of Asia in general from a commercial airliner. But you don't. There are so many optical phenomena that exist in the world that can readily help you determine that the Earth is a globe. You don't need NASA or anybody else to tell you these things. They're just inherently available to your eyes. The most things that you need for, to experience some of these things for yourself are a plane ticket. which admittedly is expensive in this economy, but that's beside the point. The Earth is factually a globular shape. No amount of wishful thinking is going to change that.